everybody. Welcome to the weekly Baseball Brew Crew Podcast, keeping baseball history alive, one craft beer at a time. Wherever you are watching or listening, please give us a like and a follow. And if you love beer with your baseball, please tell a friend. Here is the lineup card for today. Let's do it. In the leadoff spot is our VP of Content Development at the Baseball Brew Crew. Oh my gosh, what happened? I got sniped.
Easy for you to say, dude.
Angelo, Trinidad, how you doing, man?
It is another fun evening with three of my favorite dudes, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to learn about baseball history, increase my knowledge, and talk to the guys here and talk to you guys.
Right on. Glad to have you. Next, he's a field correspondent and senior research analyst at the Baseball Brew Crew. It is Kevin Lyon. Welcome.
I'm happy to be here. I sense a little bit exaggeration on the senior part of my title. I don't know why you would do such a thing. It's not very proper, but I am really excited about today's show, just from the little nuggets that I found. When I hashtag do the research.
Well, if we ever make it down to Mexico to see a game, you'll be the senior research analyst.
Bravo.
Senor, dude.
Hitting third is the Goodwill Ambassador and the Sultan of Swig at the Baseball Brew Crew. It is Cowboy Jack Durango.
So I was sitting around thinking the other day, like Nolan Ryan used to throw a ball and hit people that made him mad, right? Like, imagine him walking around his town with like a gun belt on, but only it's just got baseballs. And if somebody like cuts him off in traffic, he just beans them, and he's just like, "What are you gonna do?" Cowboy Jack Durango here. That's my first bit in my baseball themed stand-up special right here at the Baseball Brew Crew.
Let him hear it. Yes.
So glad you're here. You are fired up. I could tell Utah had an effect on you.
It
did. He couldn't wait to hightail out of there. That's the effect it had.
I'm surprised they let me in, to be honest, man. As I drove through the streets of Salt Lake, churches were bursting into flames, man. It was a little touch and go, but I'm back, baby.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you. My name is Michael Mondragon, your humble host for the festivities tonight. As tradition on the show, we always bring a new and unique craft beer to review and enjoy. So, guys, what are you drinking tonight? I'm going to start with Angelo Trinidad.
All right. So it is a brand new month, and February brings us Black History Month. So this month, I'm going to highlight Black-owned breweries the next few weeks to kind of talk about them and their products. So this first one I wanted to talk about, obviously what drew me to this is the musicality behind the name of the beer or the brewery. And this is a Rhythm Brewing Company. They're based out of New Haven, Connecticut. And not only are they a Black-owned business, but is a woman-owned business. This was founded by Elisa Bowens Mercado in March of 2018. So their flagship beer, which is the Rhythm Lager, it's a modern American-style lager with an ABV of 5.5%, brewed with South African hops. Rhythm is unfiltered, flavorful, and has a slight bite that leaves you wanting more. They also just recently released their newest brew, the Rhythm Blue Unfiltered Light Lager. It's an American-style light lager brewed for a smooth, crisp, clean finish, light in calories but not light in flavor. And upon hashtag doing the research, the Rhythm Unfiltered Lager is actually featured in a 2019 music video by Wale for his song BGM, Black Girl Magic. So Rhythm Brewing Company, great to be able to highlight them, and definitely I'm going to try to be on the hunt for this at some point down the line.
Very cool.
Their logo is so cool. Super well designed. How's that beer?
It's an American style lager, so very similar to your basic lagers in other craft beers. But the main difference here in this one is brewed with South African hops. Mm-hmm. So I've never had a beer brewed with South African hops before. So definitely piques my interest.
Yeah, so 5.5. That's going to be one of those breakfast beers that we talked about.
Yeah, and quite possibly a breakfast appetizer beer at 5.5. Yeah.
And
like
you
the way
also
you
had the one. You had the one from Nashville. This kind of reminds me of the one that you picked up in Nashville.
Yeah, Music City beer is what I picked up in Nashville.
Yeah.
Also a lager. Picked that up at the airport right after the gate. So very convenient.
There's another brewery called Fat Bottom. I remember they had like little like spots at the gate, like where they were just selling a couple beers. And I'm like, oh, this is heaven right here.
Yeah.
Not like the restaurant. It's actually just like a little like kiosk. It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Great stuff. Thank you for that. And I know you're going to be doing that throughout
February. The month of February. Yep.
Awesome. That definitely ties into what we're going to be talking about tonight. So I'm glad that you featured this. Thank you so much for that. Next up, Kevin Lyon. This is a familiar one.
All right. If you want to hear a song with good rhythm in it, what do you need to play it through, Michael Mondragon? A stereo.
A stereo, of course.
So, that's the easy part I just threw in there. Let me find my can. So last week, I told the story where I went over there for their 6th anniversary party, Stereo Brewing out of Placentia, California, not Placenta, Cowboy Jack. Don't get all excited about it. It's in, I would say, like the northeastern part of Orange County, so about 15 minutes or so from Anaheim. They had their 6th anniversary, and they made this anniversary stout with some cool artwork on here. And I bought one. I bought it. And then all of a sudden, I see on the can, which version do you have? And I'm like, there's 2. So I have the silver one, the gold one. The silver one is what I have tonight. It's our fresh stout, unadulterated, just malt, water, hops, and yeast. And then last week on the show, because I asked the panel, is I should have the gold one. So I did, and that was the same beer, but with toasted coconut and marshmallow for a confectionery spin. So they do a lot of music themed beers. Like their last year on the show, I had a beer called Debaser by a song by the Pixies. They had a lot they had stuff named after Bob Dylan, Lou Reed. I saw the list of beers. They had one for Kraftwerk. There you go, Michael. So a lot of older kind of music, so old like me, And so tonight I got this one again. This is the Year 6 Imperial Stout coming in at Cowboy Jack, 13.5%.
Nice.
So,
Brunch beer, dude. Brunch beer.
We wanted to release something big to celebrate 6 years of Stereo of our fresh Imperial Stouts. We used 12 different roasted malts for added complexity and character. The result is a Midnight Black. See how black that is. A Midnight Black beer with flavors of both milk and dark chocolate, toffee, and a slight warming heat at the end. So I figured, you know what? I had the variation last week. Let's have the original tonight. So that way I can enjoy 13.5 of Cowboy Jack because I missed out on that one.
Yeah, I think Kevin's going to be chatty during this. Is going to be a chatty podcast.
I knew I was going to be chatty just when I did a little hashtag the research over the weekend. So I was like, oh no. That's the other reason why I'm like, let's have this.
There you go. Perfect. No, this is great. And again, we owe Stereo Brewing another visit because I love just everything about it when we went there before, all the vinyl on the wall and they were playing records and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely super cool. We'll definitely have to make it back there very soon. Cowboy Jack, you are up. We actually talked about this, but I want your in-depth review of this.
Well, as previously mentioned, I was traveling through Utah last week, and at one point I found myself sitting in the Salt Lake City airport at a brewery with some time to kill. So I look over and I see this polygamy porter from Wasatch Brewing, and I thought, man, this is going to be fun to talk about with the guys. So I ordered this beer, like a taster of this beer, just solely based on the name, the can, and the thought of discussing this with you guys. What I didn't intend was to have such a strong reaction to this beer. The first drawback is that I was charged 50 cents for a taster. Like, I've never been in a brewery where they charge you for a taster. So like, that should have been my signal that like nobody gets a taster and then orders this beer.
Hey, Jack, quick question. So is this an actual Wasatch Brewery location at the airport, or is it a bar serving it?
No, it was a brewery inside the airport.
So it's actually Wasatch. Oh, wow. Okay.
No, sir. It was a separate brewery, like a tap room. restaurant.
Oh, it's a tap room. Okay.
A gastropub. Yeah, they called themselves a brewery. Sorry.
Gotcha.
But
Okay,
they had
curious.
all Wasatch beers on tap.
Okay.
Right. So I thought, all right, no big deal. It's tax deductible, right? This is show research. The best way that I can describe this 4%er is if you opened a can of Natural Light and left it on the counter of a bus stop restroom for a full 48 hours and then mixed it with burnt coffee from a convenience store in Lick Skillet, Tennessee. Before you ask, yes, it's a real town, and yes, the coffee is atrocious. The polygamy porter, guys, I'm sorry, it not only does it taste horrible, but it's so acidic. It's like it gave me acid reflux for an hour afterwards. I've never got such an acidic beer before, and I love IPAs, but this had a weird acidity to it that just, yikes, man. It was tough. They can't all be winners, guys. I think that maybe the porter isn't best brewed to keep it under the 4% alcohol by volume. I think that really takes away with it. So, maybe stick with the lighter. You go with a light IPA or a lager or a blonde, something like that, where you can keep that ABV low. But this was flying too close to the sun, man. I gotta give this one 2 cowboy hats down, brother. Like,
oh man, and that sometimes happens when they get too cute, right? Kevin and I have gone to a couple breweries, and we just went there. Actually, Kevin avoided going to one just for the name. He refused to go.
Yeah, that's right.
And
it was called Paparazzi.
Paparazzi.
Oh,
yes.
Lord, dude,
it's no longer there. But I just
shocking. It didn't make it.
I go, we have to go. But Kevin wouldn't.
No.
There's another one that we had a Groupon for, and there's a reason why it was a Groupon. But anyway, it had a cute name too that people seem to like.
They originally were called like Black Cock Brewing. Like they changed their name for that, just I think to get attention. I think they were called like they had some Orange County theme in their name originally, and they changed Black Cock Brewing. I'm like,
and of course they had a rooster and everything. But it got too cute. So so I was gonna say, like, so you said like it's 4 or 5% ABV.
It's 4% ABV on a porter, which like legally their beer can't be over 5%, right?
Nothing in fair state.
Right, dude. Yes,
okay.
No beer.
So is that stuff brewed in Utah?
Yes, sir. It is.
Did you happen to go see? Did you happen to? I'm just fascinated by this. Did you go to like a liquor store or a different place? Were they selling like, let's say they're selling like Stone beer?
So I went to a grocery store and they had like the standard fare big macro brewery Bud Light, Coors Light, but they're all 5%ers.
Right. You didn't see any like known craft beers like a Samuel Adams or anything like that, or Sierra Nevada. Wow.
No, sir.
Wow, that's I didn't know that either. That's fascinating.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Not many IPAs to be found, my man.
It sounds like England when I was over there. A lot of you might IPAs under 5%.
Yeah.
Wow. What was the name of that town? Lake Skillet?
Lick Skillet.
Okay, I gotta see where that is. Is it anywhere near Bucksnort?
No, it's not near Bucksnort. Yes, they're both real towns.
I went by there and had to go through Bucksnort.
Yeah,
or Mudlick, Kentucky.
Mudlick, Kentucky.
I don't think that's real, sir. Come on.
Wow, too funny. Well, thank you for reviewing this one, and
I will not be tagging Wasatch Brewery in our post.
Yeah, no, so I feel like I give so many glowing reviews that every one that I give is honest, and I had to be honest. Like, I would hate for somebody to grab this expecting a porter and then have the experience that I had. I don't think it's the right type of craft beer to brew at that low ABV. It just doesn't. You're losing something in the process.
And that taste, it was like a 4-ounce taster.
Yeah,
like that?
Yeah. It was bad, man. It gave me real bad heartburn. It's just something about it, just not great, man.
That's too bad.
But I got to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. A porter at a low ABV doesn't sound like a good combination. You definitely like Kevin's is Kevin's is pretty high right there. So
I mean, the only reason why you get a stout, the only stout there's some stouts you can get that are lower ABV. Like Guinness is like under 5%, I believe. Guinness is I couldn't believe when I found that out. I'm like, what?
Oh,
always
yeah.
think like, oh, give such a strong beer. I'm like, no, it's not.
It's probably more malty than
Exactly.
Yeah.
You'll find stouts that are like 5%, and you'll find stuff like this that's imperial stout or stuff that's bourbon barrel aged. You know, they'll be sitting in the barrel for like a year and a half. All of a sudden, it comes out like 14% or something. You're like, woo!
Right.
And then it's time for breakfast.
Exactly. Well, thank you for that, Jack. And I think we all have dark beers here today, so this is awesome. And so when Cowboy Jack and I, a few weeks back went to the Cactus Tap Room, I actually said that I can't say never, but I haven't had a black IPA, and so I wanted to try it. So here it is. This is Olber's Paradox, a black IPA by Wren House Brewing, 7.7 ABV. It's a Cascadian dark ale. In short, is a dark hoppy beer. This offering is seriously hoppy, jumping out of the glass with notes of pine, citrus, berry, and stone fruit, supported by highly kilned rye and barley malts for color, body, and a pillowy head retention. With a lighter body, smooth finish, and nestled in at 7.7 ABV, this beer will keep you coming back for another sip of refreshing hoppiness to start you taking down the rabbit hole of life's other mysteries. And as you see there, it is super.
The darkness.
Wow.
The darkness, brother. And it is. It, you know what? So when at first glance, you think, oh, I'm going to get exactly what Jack thought, is like, oh, this is like a porter. It's going to be super kind of, I won't say syrupy, but just real, almost, it has a different consistency to it.
Yeah, and it's like a macchiato. Like it's
it's got some volume to it. So this one is actually very light. Really? It's way lighter than I expected. I mean,
is there an IBU on that?
No IBU on this one.
Okay.
And it's because it's true because it's not super hoppy. It does have like the pine and citrus and berry they talk about. The stone fruit you can definitely smell on your nose as well. But what I asked at the tap room was like kind of what makes it a black IPA, and I guess it's the malts, the malt that's made with it. And it's tremendous. And Wren House is like, I have to say, Wren House is probably at least now it's my favorite brewery right now in Phoenix, Arizona. So,
well, and hey, Cowboy Jack's #1 beer of the year last year was by Wren House.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They
definitely proved themselves to us, at least here at the Baseball Brew Crew.
Yeah, yes. When you snagged this one off the shelf, I was really excited to see how it turned out. Like that, it just sounded super interesting. So
yeah, it was really, really good. And I'm super glad that I got it. And definitely, if you see this one out there, and actually, my friend Phil, who actually gets a lot of different variations of beer in Arizona. He just he popped this one. He always sends me pictures of him. I'm just like, hey, I have that one. I'm going to put that on the show next week. And so he had it too. So he loves it.
Bill then.
Cover Lang is
Cover Lang. I almost said Clover. I'm like Cover Lang. Yep.
Cover Lang is his pseudonym. And yes. So cheers to our drinks tonight. These are awesome beers.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do it. This is this day in baseball history for January 31st. Yes, baseball history in January. Let's talk about it right now. January 31st, 1919, in Cairo, Georgia, Mally McGriff and Jerry Robinson give birth to Jack Roosevelt Robinson, the youngest of 5 children of the sharecroppers family.
No way.
Yep.
On April 15th, 1947, the 4-sport athlete at UCLA will break the baseball color line, starting at first base for the Brooklyn Dodgers' 5-3 victory over the Boston Braves at Ebbets Field. I had forgotten how prolific an athlete he was. Actually, he was probably maybe arguably the worst at baseball than the other sports.
Really?
Yeah, he could have gone into any other sport and thrived. I mean, he was definitely like one of those just next generation athletes.
But baseball was the biggest sport in America
At the time.
sure.
Absolutely. Right.
Then, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you probably could make more money doing baseball than I'm guessing football at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't believe any other major sports, had broken the color barrier as again. I don't know for sure on that. I have to hashtag do the research.
Well, I think so. When would he have been in college then? So right.
Well, he broke it. Well, you remember he played a couple years in the minors with Montreal, I believe it. Or I'm sorry, I think he originally played in the Negro League, then Montreal, then they brought him up, and I think they intentionally put him in Montreal because he'd be in Canada, not in the U.S. to hopefully avoid some backlash. I think that was the highest level for the Dodgers in the minor leagues. So he probably would have been in college. I want to say the late 30s, maybe 40, because we talked about before when he retired, remember he became a spokesman for Chock full of Nuts. He was already going great. He was already in his mid 30s.
Right.
And that was like the late 1950s. So.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of like Jim Brown. When did Jim Brown play? Jim Thorpe had already, and then, there was other ethnicities that were there, but so Jackie Robinson, I think in the other sports as well. Go ahead.
Yeah. And he actually would have made his debut. He played the Kansas City Monarchs first in 1945. So he'd already been 26 then, you know what I mean? If he's 1919. So he debuted as like a 28-year-old rookie, in 1947. Wow. So again, it's like I don't know when he actually would have graduated from college, but then here's the other thing too. What happened in the 1940s, Michael Mondragon? That affected baseball.
Well, the war.
Yes, so he served in the U.S. Army from 42 to 44. So that definitely would have delayed his time getting in the Major League Baseball as well.
Oh, there you go.
Or just playing professional sports in general,
Yeah, that's always kind of glazed over for some reason whenever they talk about Jackie Robinson, his military duty.
Yes.
So in 1946, 1 year before Jackie Robinson smashed professional baseball's color barrier, 4 players smashed the NFL's color barrier.
Oh, okay.
Marion Motley, Woody Strode, Kenny Washington, and Bill Willis.
And at least 1 or 2 of those guys are Hall of Famers. I think actually Woody Strode actually ended up having a wrestling career too.
Is that right?
The name rings a bell. I want to say I think he was involved in wrestling later in his life. Marion Motley's a Hall of Famer for sure. I think I want to say either the Green Bay Packers or the Chiefs. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I remember the name for sure. But come on, Jack. Look at how jacked. Look how jacked he is in that basketball.
The pipes on that dude.
Like
dude.
There's no gas back then, brother.
Dude, curls for the girls, brother. Yeah.
And it's hilarious because it's like his track shorts in that first photo. You think that's not short enough? Look at what's going on in that basketball jersey.
It's a Speedo, bro.
It's almost like a one piece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a one piece swim, singlet. Yeah.
Definitely. So this is a very interesting one. And stick with me for just a second because we'll walk through it. January 31st, 1950, after purchasing his contract from movie producer Frederick Stefani, the Pirates signed Narbonne High School, that's in Harbor City, California, left-hander Paul Pettit to a record $100,000 deal. Okay, so the Pirates purchased this guy's contract off a movie producer, okay? They don't explain it, but I'll explain it in a minute. So in 1951 and 53, the Wizard of Whiff, who once struck out 27 batters in a 12-inning high school baseball game, makes only 12 mound appearances for the Pirates, posting a 1-2 record and a 7.34 ERA. Okay. So Cowboy Jack, Angelo, does anybody want to guess who the guy is on the left? And we talked about him.
Yes.
I want to say
Bing Crosby.
Yes.
Bing Crosby. Nicely
Yeah,
done.
Great job, Jack.
Nicely
You
done.
remembered something.
Thank you.
So this picture, it's Paul Pettit, who's obviously on the right, singing with actor Bing Crosby at the Pirate Spring Training in San Bernardino in February 13th, 1950.
Wow.
Yes, exactly. That was something right there that I had to look.
Do we know if that's Fiscalini Field? I don't think I went around that.
Oh my gosh, it might be. You're absolutely right. Oh, that'd be amazing.
Fiscalini Field still exists, and that used to be the minor league stadium for San Bernardino. It's probably best known because Ken Griffey Jr. in the minor leagues played a whole season there.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But it's still there because I think Cal State, San Bernardino still actually does play there. They got a hashtag to the research. See when. You know what? They did have the Pirates.
There you go.
That
Oh my gosh.
Fiscalini Field.
Nice.
They would have opened up in 1934. So there you go. That's
wow.
Crazy.
Okay. So to define this, why this even happened? Okay. So Pettit was thrust onto the national stage as the most sought after amateur pitcher in America at age 18. Former Brooklyn Dodgers general manager Branch Rickey compared Pettit to future Hall of Famer Bob Feller, who was pitching for the Cleveland Indians at the time. Pettit was courted by a Hollywood movie producer who offered him $60,000 for the rights to his life story in 1949.
Wow.
And he signed baseball's first $100,000 bonus with the Pittsburgh Pirates that year. He rubbed elbows with Bing Crosby, Jane Mansfield, and retained Rickey as an informal advisor. And then he eventually went to the Pirates and got injured. And but he reinvented himself as a first baseman and outfielder and played parts of 5 seasons from 54 through 57 with the Hollywood Stars of the Pacific Coast League. And he played the final 4 seasons with AAA Columbus and AAA Salt Lake City and Seattle of the PCL. So he was like a PCL journeyman after that.
PCL was actually pretty big still, like in the 1950s, because there was no major league teams at the end of the 50s. Michael, there's only one thing I wish I would know about this story. I hope he rubbed more than elbows with Jane Mansfield.
Oh,
wow! Wow!
well, looking how handsome and that he is, I'm sure that he did okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a very interesting story. It doesn't seem like one, but a very interesting story.
Dude, I think that's interesting, man. I think it's super interesting. Like, it's so crazy to me how huge baseball was, and like the actors, just the connection that it has. And then now it's not that big. Like at one time it ruled America. It's wild to me that just the way it's unfolded.
Yes, for sure.
Now, my only question is so we talked about this before, but Bing Crosby had ownership in the Pirates at this time, right? Is that why? That's why they're.
I never put. You're absolutely right on that. I never put that together.
We talked about the controversy where he came up a few weeks ago. Was he somehow had purchased an interest in the Indians, and somehow it got approved where he had ownership in 2 different teams at the same time, which is infallible nowadays. You know what I mean? You can't do that. So
right.
I'm sorry. Wait. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Hang on. Was I'm sorry, maybe it was the Tigers? I don't remember what it was.
He got the Tigers, but he had interest in the Pirates.
So he actually had ownership in the Pirates from 1946 till he passed away in 1977.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but they waived it so he could be a part of the Tigers at that time.
Right.
Holy cow.
Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And if you thought that one was good, wait till you see this one.
Oh, is it time?
It is time. It is time.
I better get ready. Stretch.
January 31st, 1961, Houston voters approved financing for a domed stadium, removing the last hurdle to gaining a major league franchise. The Astrodome, dubbed the world's 8th wonder of the world, results from today's approval, serving as the Astros' home from 1965 to 1999. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things in that period. So some of the things that happened in the Astrodome, the very first, and I'll say not official home run, but the very first home run in the Astrodome was by Mickey Mantle. It was in an exhibition game in April of 1965. Mm-hmm. Also, Lindsey Nelson, an announcer for the visiting New York Mets, broadcast a game in April of 1965, perched in a gondola suspended from the roof above second base. Okay.
Is there a photo of this? Oh my god!
I couldn't find one, but there is. Well, we might have to talk about it more. Okay, so I'm going to put over the Astrodome right now.
Yes.
The game of the century between the University of Houston and UCLA Bruins took place in the Astrodome January of 1968 before a crowd of 52,963, the largest attendance ever at a basketball game until 2003. I believe Lou Alcindor was on the UCLA team at that time. Was that during their long streak?
Oh my gosh, yeah. They pretty much, them and like Louisville were dominating, but UCLA won something like 10 championships in like a decade or something insane like that.
Okay,
but yeah, I believe Mr. Lou Alcindor was on that team.
That's it. Later to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The Battle of the Sexes tennis match occurred on September 20th, 1973. We talked about that. Yeah. Three-time world heavyweight boxing champion Muhammad Ali fought Cleveland Williams in the Astrodome in November of 66. Elvis Presley gave 6 performances in February and March of 1970, setting attendance records with $200,000 over 6 shows. He also performed in 74. The Astrodome was also the setting for the filming of an exhibition game for the fictional Houston Toros in the 1977 movie, The Bad News Bears Breaking Training. So obviously there's a lot of history for the 8th wonder of the world that it was done.
Hey, we're not done yet. Michael Mondragon, what was your first Major League Baseball game?
My very first Major League Baseball game was 1993. It was the San Diego Padres versus the Houston Astros. It was a day game, and it was on a Sunday. And
where was this at, though?
What's that?
You didn't say the important part. Where was it at?
It was at the Astrodome.
There you go.
And when that was done, we walked the parking lot over to the Astro Arena, where we watched Fall Brawl 93, the War Games. And actually, it was my second War Games. I saw the very first. I saw the War Games in Phoenix in 91.
Yes. And hey, let me add one more thing. Since you mentioned professional wrestling, we do need to mention that one of the greatest wrestling cards of all time, WrestleMania 17 in 2001, happened at the Astrodome.
That's right. And we also have a connection to someone who actually wrestled in the Astrodome.
We do?
Yes, we do.
Oh, great.
So in our early days, he didn't wrestle there very long. He trained with us, but he didn't really wrestle with us. But it was just when we were starting, Blitzkrieg, when he was in WCW, actually wrestled at the Astrodome.
Oh my gosh!
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I have pictures of it. They're actually like handheld, like camera,
like a Nitro or just a house. They do it.
I want to see it. It was. I think he wrestled Ray during like the Filthy Animals era when they were the Conan.
I'm just trying to just picture this. Like, wait, what?
Yeah,
that's wild, bro.
Yeah. So I have pictures of that. Anyway, can anybody name the 7 wonders of the world?
Gosh. All right. Let me see. I'm sure I've been to at least 6 of them. How about the Hanging Gardens? I'm going to throw an obscure one at you. Isn't that one?
Okay. So this is where it gets complicated. So there's actually 7 wonders of the ancient world, and there's 7 wonders of new 7 wonders of the world. So there's actually 14 of them.
Oh, Lord.
Come on now.
Okay.
I gave you one, though.
You did give me one, and that's the one that I remember too.
Yes.
So here they are. Angelo, do you have any recollection of any of this from school or anything?
Oh my gosh.
Great Pyramid of Giza, yes.
Okay.
That's the
Hanging
only
Garden's the
one.
only one I know.
I'm pretty sure I'm familiar with the new 7 wonders of the world. Or majority of them, but these the only one is the Great Pyramid.
Okay, so name the new 7 wonders of the world.
Great Wall of China.
Okay.
The Taj Mahal,
Yes.
There you go.
the Roman Colosseum,
Yes.
Machu Picchu,
Yes.
Wow.
and that's
Fun.
I think all I know.
Okay. Anybody else want to fill in the three?
Is the Parthenon one of them?
No.
Oh,
That's a good guess. I would.
That's a really good guess.
all right.
So we got 4. We need to get to 8. I think I know what 8 is.
7, sir. 7. Because we already established that the Astrodome is dubbed the 8th one. That's already a foregone conclusion.
And Joni Laura is the 9th wonder of the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So okay. So we got 9. We got 6 out of 9. So we got 3 to go, dude.
All right. Think about this.
I might even just put the pictures up because
Let's put the pictures.
you might not even be able to get them from this.
Well,
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade for sure. Yes. And then the giant happy hugging Jesus, bro, in Brazil. Yeah.
What is that called?
Giant happy hugging Jesus.
Is that the pyramid in outside Mexico City in the upper left?
It's Chichen Itza.
Is that it? That's in Mexico.
Mexico.
City?
Yes.
I think I can actually say that I've been to one of the
Nice. Okay.
And I've been to I've been one of the 7 wonders of the world. I've been to the 8th wonder of the world, Astrodome, just like you, sir.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So the other ones are it's up in the upper right. It's Petra. That's in Jordan.
Mhm.
And then the one in Brazil is Christ the Redeemer.
Oh.
And yeah, so
close.
I wasn't really
What's
familiar
the one
with
next
this.
to the Coliseum then? Is that
That's
Bottom right, it's Colosseum.
gotcha? Okay.
Yeah.
Machu Picchu is the bottom
Yeah.
middle.
right.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Sorry.
But I'm surprised that no one has said anything about the Sugar Hill Gang and the 8th wonder.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Yes.
So this is a song that they
Turn off the
released.
lights, dude. We can't beat it. We're done.
Shut it down, boys. Shut it down.
Wrap it up.
Cowboy Jack, we haven't started yet.
We have,
No way,
I
dude.
thought this
All
was
right.
later. This is
I
where I
gotta buckle my
hashtagged the research.
seatbelt
And
here, dude.
this is why I couldn't sleep last night. I was like, I just was looking up.
Yes.
I found this. I'm like, and this is a great beat. Hashtag do the research.
Yeah.
Look it up. There's a great. The music video looks awesome because it's just like that cover. Them all.
You'll know this. You'll know the
Name
song if
Arms.
you look it up.
And there's a great Soul Train performance too around there on the internet.
It's fantastic. But I'm surprised that I didn't hear any flack about the comparison of the Astrodome to this 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant.
This one.
So yes. So let's compare the Astrodome and all of its glory to this 8th wonder of the world, and let's have a vote at the end to see who will hold the title of real 8th wonder of the world. And as Angelo said, the 9th wonder is China.
Yes.
I was trying
China
to
Ball, as it were. Rest in peace. Okay, so let me talk about the accolades of this this man. So we talked about Muhammad Ali, who boxed at the 8th wonder of the world, and now he's with Andre here. So he's actually been literally inside one and next to another 8th wonder of the world. Very good.
Look how big. I mean, you talk about everyone
Look at
talks about
that
big.
man.
Yeah, it's just that fist. It looks like as big as it's half his face.
It's crazy.
Bro, it's like a catcher's mitt with baked potatoes for fingers. It's huge.
Okay, so I forgot that he was in $6 Million Man. Okay,
he was the Sasquatch.
that's right. And the picture that on the right, he's with Wilt Chamberlain, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and obviously Andre the Giant. Now, are you ready for this?
Ready.
Are you ready for this? April 21st, 1971, officials from the Astrodome schedule a major announcement. Muhammad Ali will fight here against Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh my gosh!
No.
What?
it was actually going to happen. I guess in 1967 they had some sort of like thing. It was on ABC and Howard Cosell was on there, and so this has actually been brewing for a while, and
It's such a work.
it was 100% work, but and it was never going to happen.
Right.
But Wilt, the thing that he wanted was he wanted $500,000 in taxes. After taxes, he wanted $500,000 after taxes, not before. And so I guess Bob Arum, who was the promoter at the time, said, "Don't taunt Wilt, or to Ali. Don't taunt Wilt before this all goes down." And then Ali went out, of course, did his shtick. And then Wilt Chamberlain signed with the Lakers right after that. And I'm sure it was just like, it was such a work.
Publicity stunt.
But it almost happened. It almost happened.
Crazy too, because it I think you know what might have heard it too, though, actually, Michael, is Ali lost the title to Joe Frazier right around that time. Because he had this thing where they took the title from him because he protested being in Vietnam. And then I don't remember his first fight back, but his first fight's back is going to be the fight of the century at Madison Square Garden, him and Joe Frazier. And he lost the decision to Frazier. Right. And I want to say it's right around this time when he would have been fighting, Wilt Chamberlain. And by the way, that photo on the right is during the making of Conan the Destroyer.
Yes.
And I'm assuming Andre was just in Mexico City for a match. I don't remember him being in that film. But
well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, he had actually made friends with Schwarzenegger and then started, go into stuff with him. And then obviously, Princess Bride, we all know that, of course. But
that, all right. If you got another twist, dude, I'm like,
okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna hold on to your socks because they're just about to be blown off. Ready?
Uh-oh.
Okay. So we're going to bring it to craft beer.
Yes,
Here is a picture from Sports Illustrated where the very famous one where his hand like dwarfs. Didn't we say that before about something where you were holding the can?
Yeah. and I'm guessing that's a Molson, but I don't know.
It is a Molson. It is a Molson. So we brought it back to craft beer. And of course, there's an eighth wonder brewery. Yes. It's a brewery and distillery. So in 1965, the doors of the Astrodome opened for the first time, dubbed the eighth wonder of the world. The first air-conditioned dome stadium coincided with Houston's launch into global spotlight. In 2013, inspired by Houston, the spirit of Houston, we began brewing beer a dome-like warehouse in East Downtown, exploring styles from across the beer world. We offer tasty something for everyone. So, yes. And this is in there, so that they have Andre in there and everything. So, Kevin actually showed me this to me.
I just happened to find Eighth Wonder Brewery, and I'm like, it's in Houston.
It's in Houston. It all comes around.
But Michael found that photo, and Michael, my gosh, I didn't see that photo. That photo is amazing. Oh my god.
Yes, dude.
So we brought it all the way around, right?
I don't know how you do it, dude. Every time, dude, I'm always just like left putting the pieces together. I'm like, that crafty rapscallion did it again, dude.
I'm so happy I was able to assist on this one, though, Michael.
Yes, Kevin was a big assist. In fact, he would not let me let this debate go. Actually, well, before I give it another thing. Yes, sir. So who is the eighth wonder of the world? Let's final debate. What is the eighth wonder of the world? Is it the Astrodome or Andre the Giant? Angelo.
Andre the Giant.
Okay. Cowboy Jack.
Andre sold a lot of tickets, dude, but over the years, the Astrodome outsold him. So, hey, it's all about the money and the miles, brother. And the Astrodome takes my vote for the eighth wonder of the world.
Oh,
plus it was an engineering feat, dude. An engineering feat.
Yes,
Andre just drank a lot of beer and like.
I wore this shirt. I wore this shirt intentionally because I knew you were going to do this. But funny because I'm still just like, you know what? I mean, it's still just a magnificent creation that still stands to this day.
Yes.
I doubt anything's still going on there for decades. I wish something could go on there. I did say I saw Andre the Giant as a young man. I was never young. Who am I kidding? But I'm going to go with the Astrodome.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
I'm going baseball. I didn't
see that one coming.
I didn't see that one coming either.
I go baseball first.
I saw Andre the Giant actually on a Piper's Pit at a TV taping in Arizona.
No way.
I did. It was taped, but it was not shown. It was like one of those extra ones that they did, but they didn't show it.
Oh.
And I've been to the Astrodome. Oh my gosh. And the Astrodome is still standing. I'm going to go with the Astrodome.
Wow.
Yes, it was the first to market. And again, it's still helping people today.
Excuse me. Now, when did the Astrodome open, sir?
65.
Because we did ask, and someone else who was very upset.
Yes.
About us making this debate said, no, there's no way it's Andre. And apparently Andre started wrestling in 66, but he would not have been billed as the 8th wonder of the world.
No, he was Andre Rusumov, right?
Yeah. Wasn't he like a lumberjack when he first started out?
And then he was the giant, what was his name in Montreal?
Jean Ferrer.
Jean Ferrer. They couldn't call him that in America because it sounds too much like fairy.
That's right. Right. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's true.
God bless wrestling, dude.
That's right.
They speak a different language. We don't like them, dude.
Of course,
wrestling.
So to close this out on a wrestling theme, Kevin would not let me put this honorable mention of a possible second wave of the 8th wonder of the world. Kevin, do you want to tell us about this?
I'll explain this. So apparently there was a baby panda. There was something that happened to him in China, and because of whatever chemicals or whatever happened, affected his body, and he got a case of gigantism. You can't tell in this picture, but I believe he's about 10 foot tall, and he weighs about 5 tons, something like that. And his name is Andreza the Giant Panda.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes.
This is a professional wrestler in a group called DDT in Japan, and
it has to be DDT.
So,
okay,
now,
all right, makes sense.
He has 2 moves.
Yes.
The Andreza press and the speed of light headbutt. Let's go to the clip.
Oh no!
Yes.
Look at the deadly accuracy of this right here.
Boom goes the dynamite, dude. Ollie's down, bro. Ollie's down.
Down goes Frazier.
There it is, dude.
All right.
Oh my gosh, that was wild.
That is this day in baseball history. All right, so let's do some baseball trivia. Let's test your knowledge of baseball. We want to know how much you know about baseball. We're going to use the number 144 in our discussion here. You'll understand.
Wait, is that in honor of how old I am?
It is not.
You're much older than that, Kevin.
Yeah, you're much older than that. Yeah.
You're giving yourself too much credit.
Don't try to shave the numbers here.
I meant in decades, not years.
We were talking about college basketball before. Stop point shaving.
Yeah, dude.
Kevin was born when it was the old 8 wonders or 7 wonders of the world, and he was a teenager when the new wonders of the world were established.
Right?
Thank you.
He was out there shaking his fist like, you young punks and your new wonders.
Yeah.
Coliseums.
So
you should see the Colossus of Rhodes.
144 is the episode number we are on right now. So let's go with 144. Here's question 1. So this Hall of Fame pitcher has exactly 144 career RBIs.
Wow.
We're going to go with these choices. We're going to go with Jim Cott, Don Drysdale, Phil Niekro, Bob Feller, Bob Gibson, or Warren Spahn.
Wow.
Yes.
Yikers. Okay.
This Hall of Fame pitcher has exactly 144 career RBIs. Got Jim Kitty Cott,
Cat.
Don Drysdale, who was on a episode of Brady Bunch, I believe.
Yeah, I think he was in that show Mad Men too. He had range, bro. He had range.
Phil Niekro, who was on the David Letterman show.
Yes, of course.
Bob Feller was actually co-host on it's a Korean USA Today, but it's Korean Today. So international superstar Bob Feller.
Of course. Bob Gibson, we talked about previously on A Hazy History about his encounter with Pete LeCoq.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Yes.
And Warren Spahn, who we found out is like one of the greatest if not the greatest left-hander of all time.
Even maybe better than Steve Carlton. Sorry, Cowboy Jack. I
Yeah.
know you love Steve Carlton.
Yeah, love me some Steve Lefty Carlton.
Yeah. So, Angelo, what is your guess for this?
I'm going to go with number 4, Bob, for He's a Jolly Good Feller.
I like that. I like
Nice,
that.
dude.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Cowboy Jack.
I'm going with Robert Bob Gibson.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So both
Punky and Hoot,
Bobs.
dude.
Both
There
Bobs.
you go.
That's right. Bob 1 or Bob 2? There's like a Devo, right, Kevin?
There you go. Yeah, of course, sir. There you go.
So, Kevin, what is your selection? Here?
I'm going to go with the man who I believe was on the Diamond Icon ballot, Mr. Phil Niekro.
Ooh, okay. So everybody has a choice here. If you're watching this, give us a comment. Let us know if you chose the right one. And the correct answer is Bob Gibson.
Right.
Bob Gibson, who actually had 100 I have 114 here. It was actually 144. I'm not sure why I did that. That is it put the E on the board for me, right?
It's an error, dude. Yeah, we got an error. A forced error, dude. Not
Yes. Actually, Warren Spahn had the most. He had 189.
I was thinking he was
See, I
going
think
to have
that's-
the most.
Yeah, I
He had the
think
most
that's
appearances.
part of my thought process in answering the question is like, okay, who is 144 the most or is it not the most? So,
Yeah.
good to know.
Yes. So actually,
See, that's why you come
so-
to like somebody with a baseball knowledge base like me, dude. Yeah.
See, and part of the reason why I went with Phil Niekro was I'm like, all right, this guy played forever, but he played for some American League teams too. So I thought, I'm like, he may not have a lot of RBIs. But again, 144 is not very much.
Yeah. So Bob Gibson 144. Warren Spahn, we said 189 at the highest. Don Drysdale 113. Phil Niekro 109. Jim Cott 106, and Bob Feller with only 99.
Okay.
Yowzer.
Yeah. So and then but look at the swing here. This is not the swing. This guy, it took his hacks up there when he went up there. He was a good hitter. That's why I put his average up there. Is 206 is not bad for a pitcher. And
It's
Going
good for
for it,
it's
man.
good for Cowboy Jack and Guard Sharks.
Why you got to bring up old stuff, Kev?
Yeah, seriously, man. Jeez.
It's not even a segment anymore.
Wow.
Why do-
Yeah, dude, like we're just walking along, having a good time, hanging out, talking about Andre the Giant, and then boom, you sucker punch me, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry,
We
I-
are related.
He headbutted you like that giant panda.
he did.
Right.
Mm.
He did. He gave you the speed of light headbutt.
I gotta write that down or I'll forget it.
All right.
It's so funny.
Here is question number 2. This player led Major League Baseball in stolen bases in the 1990s. So from 1990 to 1999, Cowboy Jack already, I think, has an answer.
I do. Don't even show the board. I got this. Too Easy Drill Sergeant Willie Mays Hayes.
See, I don't think I was really excited because I thought it was going to be the 1890s, and I would have been able to give the answer immediately. So I don't know what I'm going to do here. I don't know.
The answer is not Machu Picchu, Kevin.
It is not. It is not. It is nowhere near that. All right. So here are your choices. We have, of course, the Man of Steel, Ricky Henderson, Otis Nixon, Delano DeShields, Kenny Lofton, Marquise Grissom, or Brian Hunter.
I like it. I like this list. All-time leader in stolen bases, Ricky Henderson. We have Otis Nixon, a star with the Braves in the 90s. Donald Shields, I remember him being an Expo primarily, right? We have Kenny Lofton from the Indians. Marquise Grissom, another guy, he came with the Expos as well around the same time as Donald Shields, back correct? And then Brian Hunter, Astros.
Braves as well. I think it's Braves.
Okay, yeah. Even a few teams, yeah. Good grizzled vets here, to say the least.
Yeah.
When you go into a beautiful mind mode on baseball, it's adorable, dude, and it makes my heart happy. Thank you, Kevin.
I'm just testing my brain.
Thank you for sharing your life, dude. That's so cool that you know that. I love it.
Yeah, sure.
It's beautiful, dude. It really is. It makes me happy.
I could talk about what else Otis Nixon is known for, right, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. My nose started acting up. Excuse me.
Okay.
I think I'm okay. Sorry.
All right, Angelo.
All right. So my strategy here is, obviously Ricky Henderson could be at the top of that list. However, didn't play deep into the 90s or played
He's still
into
playing
the 90s,
now somewhere. Come on.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
He's still playing somewhere.
So I had to think about, okay, who really had the peak of their career in the middle portion of that. So it had me land on a couple options, but I'm going to go with number 4, Kenny Lofton.
Okay. Cowboy Jack.
You know what, man? I'm gonna. Oof, I only know one person on this list. But I'm going to go with the person that sounds like an actual android, a machine, Brain Hunter, right there, number 6. Brain Hunter, yeah.
Very good.
Jack, I wish you knew a little bit more about baseball because you would have picked the first name I came up with. Unfortunately, Angelo picked him, but I was going to go as well because I believe if Willie Mays Hayes would have played later in the 90s, he would be Kenny Lofton. No. And I want to say that's the answer, but should I disagree just to disagree? No, I think it's Kenny Lofton.
Okay, yeah. So you guys have all picked different players here.
No,
right?
no, Mike. I'm agreeing with Angelo.
Oh, you're agreeing with Angelo.
Should I just pick somebody different just for fun?
If you want to,
because I don't think it's anybody else. All right, just for fun, let me go with my friend running down those white lines, Otis Nixon.
Okay.
Sugar O Gang. Now let me go to the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 with those white lines.
All right.
Oh no!
So I don't know how you Rain Manned it. You did it, Kevin. It is
wow.
478. And it's so funny because Kenny Lofton played for the Indians.
Yes.
And he led the league in stolen bases, but yet didn't have the best total. Otis Nixon was consistently.
I did not. I just picked him for something different. I think he's the next guy on the list. I thought I was going to be Kenny.
Yeah.
But, all right.
That's awesome.
So get this. So Otis Nixon and Kenny Lofton actually had 2 of the greatest catches of the 90s. This was in against the Pirates. I think it was in the NL Championship Series.
Yes,
against Andy Van Slyke. You can't. I mean, I have 3 pictures of this. You can't imagine how high that. Look how high.
Oh my God!
That is where he's at. If you watch this catch, it's nuts. And he almost doubled off someone at first on this play as well. It is crazy.
Whoever it was on first is hauling him.
Yeah. And
he's 5 foot up in the air.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so he planted his foot in the wall and just like pivoted and just like, Statue of Liberty did. It was like, it's insane. It's one of the greatest catches in playoff history.
Yeah.
And then actually Kenny Lofton had one. He caught this ball, by the way. Like this is off DJ Surhoff, and I think this was in '96. And if you look at this, like, like it's insane. It was like 3 to 4 feet out of the ballpark, and just if you just look at like this, he's like in the middle.
Is he actually on that green?
He puts his foot on it, but the pad actually goes down. Like he should have slipped down, and somehow he stuck to it and stayed up there. Yeah, it is the most incredible catch.
Can you imagine?
The question.
Yeah.
So had the momentum carried Kenny Lofton over the wall, does that count as a catch or is that a home run?
If I'm not mistaken, it's actually a catch. It's the same way that if you were to catch it in foul territory,
ball over, right there, it's like his glove is actually over the fence, but he caught it.
But if you were to drop it, it would have been a home run.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember like Torrey Hunter almost did that in Fenway Park. Like I think like David Ortiz hit one out, and he went over the fence and stuff like that. But if he would have caught it and actually kept it, it would have been a catch.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh. Dude, that is. I imagine awesome. the bonus check those guys got, dude, for those catches alone, right? Like,
yeah. A lot of people don't talk about Kenny Lofton and even Otis Nixon, about how great they were during that period. So, definitely want to give him a shout out. I also love like putting the red herrings in there, but also I love talking about the players that sometimes don't get a lot of love. Kenny Lofton's one of them.
Michael.
Yes.
Mondragon.
Yes, sir.
I might blow your mind right now.
Okay.
Do you remember a musician from the A's named Pebbles?
Do you want to ride in my Mercedes, boy?
All right.
Tell me what you want.
Guess who is an ex-husband of Pebbles? Otis
Nixon.
No
Otis Nixon
way.
Was married to Pebbles. Yeah, that's why I get for hashtag doing the research. I just looked up Otis Nixon. This first thing that came up was they were married from 2000 to 2004.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Yes.
What band did Pebbles? I think she was the manager, or
I wasn't done yet, sir. I'm not done yet. You can go back to Pebbles in a second. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Do fish your Pebbles now. Go.
So what band was Pebbles? Who did Pebbles manage? And actually had a huge falling out with. It's a very popular band.
I do know this one. Rammstein.
Oh gosh, my breakfast beer just kicked in. Thank you, Jack.
Pebbles actually had a huge falling out with TLC.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep. It was so, about
this name vaguely rings a bell, but he was also married to a singer by the name of Candy Staton. Do you know who that is?
No.
Staton. The name rings a bell. But I was going, how's this guy marry like two famous musicians in the Atlanta area? It's like, what's this guy got besides good
cocaine?
Exactly.
Well, who was married? Who was married to Left Eye, and Left Eye burned down his house.
Speaking of Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Andre Rison.
Nicely done.
Wow.
It all comes around. That's baseball trivia. You're not going to get this anywhere else.
Yeah. Bro, if you're watching this, like, subscribe, comment, please. It's a little act for you. It means a lot to us. And where else are you going to hear Pebbles to Andre Rison in 2 degrees of separation? Right here, pal. Right here.
All right, guys. So I want to celebrate 2 people in our beer and baseball world who have unfortunately passed away this week. Cowboy Jack, are you familiar with this?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's
Well-
that's the super fans from the best documentary of all time, dude. Major League.
So, are you aware how this all started?
I am not, sir. I am not.
Okay. Well, Cowboy Jack, I'm going to give you a little education here.
1973, John Adams has been the heartbeat of Cleveland baseball games, keeping the spirit in the ballpark alive. His tradition started when he was just 21 years old and wanted to recreate in the new ballpark the sound of banging chairs that was so popular at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. For $25 at a garage sale, John purchased the bass drum that would accompany him to games for 48 years. The beat of his drum could be heard all over the ballpark as the team took the field, when a home run sailed out of the park, or when the team needed an extra lift. John quickly became a fan and team favorite and was at the ballpark for countless moments and memories. Out of his 48 years of drumming, he only missed 45 home games. John will always remain a member of Cleveland baseball and a part of the ballpark with his dedicated seat in the bleachers. We will never forget John Adams' bass drum and how it brought this ballpark to life. From all of us, thank you, John.
Ah, dude, that's my allergies acting up. I'm not crying, but that was a real well produced video, man.
That's a
Wow.
wonderful piece.
Yeah.
I
What
think Cowboy
a-
Jack is also crying about how jacked that guy was in his peak, man.
Sure, dude. He was
That's some good. I'm like, dang. I'm like, woo, he's looking
Yeah.
like Jackie Robinson almost,
he was a beefcake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So John Adams, unfortunately passed away just recently. And it's one of those characters that is so, we celebrate him because he really embodies like the spirit of this. So one of the reasons why we do this podcast, why we love baseball, is like people like John Adams. The fact that he did this for 50 years. And I think he's been in failing health, and I think COVID really affected his health a lot recently, and really kind of led to his demise. But I think he would still be going this season and next, and he would be going in like so much further. Yeah, Kevin.
But think about this: like, you can't do this now. You can't do this. You can't bring a
Right.
drum into a baseball game.
Right.
They said he started doing it at the age of, what did they say, 24?
Wow.
No, they said 23, 24, so he'd been like 74 or 75.
Yes.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
If I was like, this guy's gonna bring his drum, I'm like, okay, sure, whatever.
Right.
Nowadays, you can't, like, you'll see in policies and standards, you can't bring any noisemakers in whatsoever. You know what I mean?
So
Wow.
it's funny that you say that, because I remember when I went to the World Baseball Classic in 2009, it was at Dodger Stadium. It was Korea versus Japan.
Mhm.
And it was as close to a World Cup game that I'm like, if I didn't know that I was in the United States, I would think I'm in another country.
Yeah.
Really?
There was people like in big samurai outfits and like drums, and it was crazy. And you're so right, Kevin. This would not be allowed, and it's only because Cleveland Municipal Stadium, they in the 70s. I mean, God, I can't believe it. There was probably nobody there.
Oh no,
Right?
no. And it was a stadium that seriously, their capacity was like something like 80,000 or something like
Right.
that. You know, Jack knows that because when he saw the documentary Major League,
Right.
that they're
Yeah.
featuring there's a full house for that playoff game.
Sure.
Like 80,000 people were there. It actually was the highest capacity. Being serious here, it actually was the highest capacity for Major League Baseball for a long time. I mean, back I remember when in the 80s for sure.
Yeah.
And then Angel Stadium, and then like the Oakland Coliseum. Those are all because it has football capabilities and I don't think the Browns played there. So it's like, I don't know what they had as an excuse, but you have these World Series stadiums that can hold like 60, 70,000 people. And that's not really a thing anymore at all.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Right. And, just, I think we did that story on that guy who like sat on top of, that thing for until the Indians would get in the playoffs or something like that. We talked about him, and then he rode his bike or something like that. And you saw that how cavernous that stadium. It's been like that forever, but that was until the 80s, and they're in the new stadium now. But again, they brought it over, and he was a big part of the sound of that. And Oakland does it where they have like the drums and stuff like that. It's one of those great things in baseball that doesn't really exist anymore, especially in American baseball. We have a friend who in our baseball chat that we talked to. He says, American baseball is boring and bland, and it's like this is a perfect reason, like, bringing this kind of fun and excitement and enthusiasm. It's like you just don't see very much anymore. But this is why we do this show, so we can celebrate the life of this guy who said, like, I don't care, I'm going to come with a drum and make the noise.
And he brings up the interest of the people there. He might motivate the team. He's making an impact on baseball. And I'd say, if you're looking more invested baseball, and if you're not aware of the World Baseball Classic, it's coming in March.
Yes.
Keep an eye out for that. There's going to be some games in Arizona here in the United States, I believe in Florida, and just keep an eye out for it. I don't know where it's airing. I would assume Major League Baseball Network, but don't quote me on that. But if you get a chance to see some of it, it is such a fun atmosphere to watch it, whether live or even on your television, on your internet, on your iPhone, whatever,
Yeah.
Take a look at it, please, this spring.
Yeah, we Kevin and I went to games, and we've gone to games before, but when it was in San Diego and Los Angeles, I mean, like,
I got to go to one game with you in San Diego, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, we went to the USA, Puerto Rico, and then I went to other games too, and it's like, just even if it's like Venezuela versus the Netherlands, it was like still amazing. It was super fun. And but again, salute John Adams for all your baseball contributions. We have another candidate here, and it's a little bit of unconventional.
It relates to beer. Come on, that's where we're going down to. And your childhood, Michael Mondragon.
Yes, it relates to beer and baseball. How about that? And it is Cindy Williams, who just passed away. It was on Laverne and Shirley. She was Shirley on the left right there. Unfortunately, Laverne died as well. We'll be talking about her in just a second. But Cindy Williams, and now How does beer and baseball relate to this? So I'm going to geek out right here, because guys, can you name anybody in this except for Laverne and Shirley?
Well, Cowboy Jack, we talked about one of the men in this photo. I believe it was last year.
Yes.
Lord.
I know.
What's the guy's name? Skizzy.
You're actually really close.
What is it?
The guy on the lower right, Squiggy was his character.
Squiggy. Okay.
His name is David Lander. Is that correct?
David L. Lander. Yes.
But the guy I know and I love with all my heart is the man on the bottom left there, Mr. Michael McKean. Not only for this show playing Lenny, he also is in one of my favorite movies of all time, Clue. And another one of my favorite all-time movie, This Is Spinal Tap.
Yes.
So that's where I know those two gentlemen on the bottom.
Yes. Okay,
sorry, that's my geeking out. Sorry.
Are you ready for my geeking out? I can name every character name in this photo. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Okay, so upper left, Big Rosie Greenbaum. Top, Frank DeFazio. Next one is his real name is Eddie Mecca, but that's the Carmine Ragusa, the Big Ragu.
Oh, there's the Big Ragu.
Yes, Big Ragu. All right. Edna Babish is the girl on the right. Actually, it was like the kind of like down low girlfriend of Frank DeFazio. So then there's Laverne and Shirley. There, and then there's Leonard Kozlowski, I believe it is, and Edward Squigman, I want to say, is like a Squiggy. So there you go. So that is okay. That is a latchkey kid from the early 1980s, right there.
and let's just say this much too, right immediately. This show is set in the 1950s.
It is. Actually, it was a spin-off of Happy Days. Actually, Richie and Fonzie actually went out with them, and they were actually their characters at the time, I think, were kind of loose, and to use a old phrase, and but they actually
I know that phrase. I'm old. I know that phrase. I'm like, oh.
So they were kind of crazy. They were both kind of crazy, and the show, Laverne was kind of crazy, and Shirley was very conservative. In fact, no, I won't go into.
So Michael, can I ask you a question? Would you say that Laverne and Shirley is maybe the most successful spin-off show of all time?
Oh, that's a really great question. I will say no, only because I know that there's one out there that I'm sure is much more. Actually, you know what also spun off from Happy Days? You will never.
Yes, I know.
Go for it.
Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy did. And actually, if you think about it, Happy Days was actually a spinoff from American Graffiti.
Well, I mean, that's a film, but still, I get where you're going.
Is it American Graffiti? I'm sorry.
Are you thinking American Love Style?
Yes. Love American Style. Love American Style.
With Robert Hayes, who they watched the movie Airplane.
And it was like during that American Graffiti days and everything. So, right.
Because the only really successful spinoff like they otherwise were modern and it's still the 90s would be Frasier being a spinoff of Cheers.
You're right.
That was definitely a common thing of like really successful shows. Like when Seinfeld went off the air, there was at least like one or two spinoffs they tried to do that just did not. No, they just didn't.
Yeah, this one had a nice like start, but then they eventually moved to Burbank, and then they kind of went the Hollywood route. So it kind of fizzled out.
Laverne and Shirley lasted. Do you have the timetable? How many?
It's actually like 7 years, I think, 7 seasons.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's like 140 some odd episodes. Okay, so how does this relate to beer? So actually, Laverne and Shirley actually worked at Schatz Brewery. Okay, wow. So in Milwaukee, they were actually bottle cappers, and it was in the introduction of this as well. Then there's like a scene where the bottles are going, and they take a glove and they put it on, and you see it.
I was waiting for you to play the intro.
Well, I didn't want it to get struck down, but
fair enough.
But
that's fair.
I went to Lakefront Brewing in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they actually have a little section right there where they actually play the theme. They show the bottle stuff, and actually I have two. It's good for a 6 ounce pour. I have two of these wood. You could actually redeem these if you wanted to, for 6 ounce pour. So I actually have been here. So this was in Milwaukee, and I think it's autographed by them. It might be just on the poster itself, but
that's great.
But anyway, okay. So the other baseball thing is the Penny Marshall actually directed A League of Their Own.
Boom.
Okay.
Baseball. There it is.
There you go. And who, Cowboy Jack, who is the girl on the right?
She was a pop star. Shakira. I hate it.
Do you not know?
I was like, you actually don't know.
Madonna. It's Madonna. I know who it is. It's Madonna.
I'm like, okay.
All right. So this is a
and Laverne gives you that same thumbs up I am.
This is a throwback to what we were talking about before in the Astrodome. Madonna played at the Astrodome in 1987 on the Who's That Girl tour. How about that? That's bringing it all around. Okay. So that is the baseball tie-in right there. So Lenny and Squiggy, I'm not going to leave them out.
Oh, no, you're not.
So we played this, I think, very early in our, it was the Beer Baseball Blogcast at that time. Yes. We actually talked about I love this picture because Super 70 Sports always puts it out there. This is Lenny and Squiggy with the Pirate Parrot. Okay. So the baseball tie-in here is David L. Lander on the left right there, scouted for the Angels and Mariners. He was a broadcaster in the film A League of Their Own. Kevin, I don't know if you know this or not. He briefly owned the minor league Portland Beavers in 1980 when they were a Pirates AAA affiliate.
And that would have been immediately after the Portland Mavericks were more or less given the heave-ho, you know what I mean?
Forced out of baseball by organized baseball, yeah.
And I love it that it goes from Bing Russell, actor, father of Kurt Russell, who owned that team, and then it ends up going to another actor, which is funny because that would have been at the peak of his career because it's right at the peak of Laverne.
That's right. That's right.
Wow, that's fantastic. I didn't know that.
And to close this out, here is a Matchbox car of Laverne and Shirley of the Schatz Brewery. This is the Schatz Brewery van. So cheers to Cindy Williams, to Harley Noogie. Thank you so much for all your contributions to beer and baseball. All right, so that is the show for this week. Angelo, I know you have a big rip and review and a big weekend coming up, so tell us about that now.
Yeah, I sure do. So stay tuned and tune in this upcoming Saturday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as we premiere a new edition of Rip and Review. This week, I'll be opening up 2022 Topps Allen and Ginter Baseball. So one of my favorite products to open each and every year. Some unique cards in there highlighting not only baseball players, but pop culture, current day icons. So stay tuned for that. And then this Saturday and Sunday, February 4th and 5th, if you're in the Las Vegas area, go to the Tuscany Casino to hit up the Front Row Card Show. Dan and the team have planned a great weekend of collectibles, baseball cards, sports cards, Pokemon, anything you can imagine, all at the Tuscany Casino in Las Vegas. Saturday, February 4th and February 5th. I will be there on Sunday, February 5th, and I'll be filming some content there. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a chance to chat with Dan as well, and that will also be posted on our channel. So stay tuned for those things to come.
Awesome. And hey, if you see Angelo on Sunday, make sure you say hello. Is that correct, Angelo?
Yes, I will have a special gift for you. I have 4 Baseball Brew Crew mystery grab bags, each of them containing either an autograph or a relic. So come find me. Let's take a photo. I'll hook you up with that mystery pack. And it'd be great to meet some of the Bruniverse out there in Las Vegas.
Yeah, dude, gnarly.
Nice. Really appreciate that. And looking forward to seeing the footage from out there. That's going to be awesome. This is where we are on all the socials: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Guys, any last words before we sign off for this week?
I'd say for myself, if you live in the Palm Springs area, something just started that Michael and I do traditionally every year. It's called the California Winter League. It's an instructional league for players looking to get their foot in the door for professional baseball or to play in independent ball. There's already independent ball players in there, but Michael and I are going to be there this coming Friday to check out the games and hang out in Palm Springs. So if you had to be in Palm Springs and catch out some baseball at Palm Springs Stadium, come say hey to us, or just check out the league in general. It runs every year for about 2 or 3 weeks. Also, if you're in Anaheim, the Orange County area, and you like Radiant Beer Company, this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's their 2nd anniversary party. And I'm sure they're going to have some great beers out there, including Cowboy Jack, a collaboration. It's you and me coming together. It's Radiant Beer Co. and Toppling Goliath.
Oh.
So you know what that means, so you already know what beer I'm going to have for the show next week. So let's not.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear about it. I turned 40 years old on February 4th, boys. So that sounds like it's going to be an amazing birthday present.
Yeah.
I will make sure you'll get that beer.
Yeah.
It'll be on the 4th, but you'll get it.
Sneaking suspicions. Well, happy birthday to Cowboy Jack. Angelo, safe travels. Kevin, I'll see you this weekend, and we'll see you next week with another Baseball Brew Crew podcast. Thanks for joining, everyone. Good night.